Good morning, everyone. So today is our last math lesson in 4th grade, and we're going to wrap up our fractions unit, our adding and subtracting fractions, with add fractional parts of 10 and 100. So I want to look at the I can statement. It says I can rename fractions with denominators of 10 and 100. So both have denominators of 100. And then I can add the fractions. Okay, so let's step it out. Let's see. So let's look at our word problem, our first word problem. It says a cook measures the mass of salt and puts it in a bowl. Then she measures the mass of pepper and puts it in the same bowl. What is the mass of the salt and pepper mixture? So they really want to know how much both the salt and the pepper weigh. But notice how the fraction looks. The salt has been measured in 4/10 grams, and the pepper has a different denominator. It has 100, so it's measured in 25th 100ths. So the problem is that we can't add these together because the denominators are different. So we want to make them the same. Okay, so let us look at the problem one more time and see. So a cook measures the mass of salt and puts it in a bowl. She measures the mass of the pepper and puts it in the same bowl. What is the mass of the salt and pepper mixture? Okay, so you can add two fractions if they have the same denominator. When fractions have the same denominator, they have a common denominator. So the fractions 4/10 and 25th 100ths do not have a common denominator. Okay, so let's just look at the definition right here. It says a common denominator is a denominator that two or more fractions share. So look at your example, 5/8 and 2/8. It's coming from the same whole, and then you're able to add those parts together. So let's go down here. So you can always rename a fraction with a denominator of 10 as an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 100. So basically what we want to do is make the 4/10 with a denominator of 100. And so how do we do that? If we multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number, you're going to get an equivalent fraction of 100. So how do we get from 10 to 100? Well, we're going to multiply by 10. So 10 times 10 is 100. Now we're going to have the same denominator. But whatever you do to the denominator, you have to do to the numerator. So we're going to put a 10, we're going to go 10 over 10. We're going to multiply 4/10 by 10 over 10. So 10 times 10 is 40. And now our new equivalent fraction, or not equivalent, but common denominator, fraction with a common denominator, is 40/100ths. Okay, so let's check and see. Okay. So we multiplied by 10. And now we have that common denominator. They both share the same denominator. Okay, so now you can add the fractions. Now let's complete the equation. So 40/10, and what did they, let me go back up to the top, and remember it was 25/100ths. So let's create that. So 25/100ths. So we have the salt and the pepper, and now we can add them together because now we're only adding the numerators. The denominator will stay the same. So 40 plus 25 is 65. So 65/100ths. Okay, let's check it. Perfect. Since both fractions have that common denominator of 100, now we can add those numerators. The denominator stays the same. So what is the mass of the salt and pepper mixture? Well, it's 65/100ths. All right, my friends, let's continue on. Let's go to the next page. Turn your page. And we're going to talk about this cute little, when it loads, this cute little wallaby. It says a wallaby jumps 7/10 of a meter. Then it jumps 18/100ths of a meter. How far has the wallaby jumped after jumping twice? Okay, so now our problem, look at the problem first of all, is we do not have common denominators. So using J For the distance the wallaby has jumped after jumping twice, complete the equation that can be used to model the problem. So what's the first he jumps is 7/10. And then the next one is 18/100. So now we have our equation. But we need to rename the 7/10 fraction with a denominator of 100. So 7/10 equals what? So we're going to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 10, because that 10 times 10 is going to get us to that 100. So what is 10 times 7? If you said 70, you would be correct. Okay, so you can multiply that numerator and the denominator of 7/10 by 10 to rename that 7/10. So look at what they did. 10 times 7 is 70, and 10 times 10 is 100. It's pretty easy once you get the hang of this. So now, what is the value of j? So which one? 70 minus 18, we're not looking to minus, so we want to add. 70 plus 7/100 equals 77/100. Was that the number? Let's go back and double check. We're looking for 70/100 and 18/100. Let's see if there's one here. And it would be this one. 70/100 plus 18/100 equal 88/100. Let's check it. Okay, so to find that total distance that wallaby jumped, j equals 88/100. Okay, you're adding those two fractions together now that they have a common denominator. That denominator is 100. So how far has that wallaby jumped after jumping twice? Let's go find it. Don't be confused. This one's 88 over 10. This one's 88 over 100, or 88 hundredths. I just want to go over this one real quickly with you because I want to show you that you can always rename a tenth as a hundredth because 100 is a multiple of 10. So when you see that one of your denominators is a 10 and 100, you can always rename it 100 because 100 is a multiple of 10. So all you have to do is simply multiply the numerator and the denominator by 10. Wow, I can't believe this is it. I miss you. Head to HMH and finish your final math assignment. Yay! I'll see you soon.